What's up, YouTube? A lot of people have been asking what the heck is going on with Rocket League. Yourself, myself included, have been wondering what are the plans going on behind the scenes. They've been pretty quiet. There hasn't been a lot of things said, and that's just due to all the things that they've been trying to work on. We always know that Psyonix is up to something, that they're always trying to focus on certain things behind the scenes, but they don't really tell us. Communication has always been kind of a quiet thing from YouTube, but luckily Devin, their community manager, is a wonderful person and decided to put out an announcement today. Today's video, we're going to be talking about what the post is, the things about it. We're going to nitpick and look at every minute little detail, read some of the comments, no matter how tiny walnut brain they may be. Smooth brain all day over at the Reddit. Jokes aside, I'm excited to see what they have to say. I've not read this yet. I've not really paid attention to what is going on. I can assume some of the things they're working on, like focus with like Sideswipe and stuff. But we're over here on Twitch, twitch.tv/Lawler. We stream every day, but Sunday and Tuesday, if you guys would like to come hang out with us. People in chat are over here talking and hanging out. Apparently you get cookies if you do sub to me. So if you guys want cookies, hit the sub button. And let's actually jump into this update. So the RL community update for July of 2021, might as well make this August because it's the end of July. It's pretty much over. They've got a cool little picture here. Maybe we'll use that for the thumbnail. Says, hello everyone. As the end of season 3 approaches, I wanted to take some time to acknowledge the conversations happening around the Rocket League community recently, which is fair. There has been a lot of conversation, no matter how old or how late, about is Rocket League dying. I even made a video on that. Floomp decided to do what he always does and see something that was happening and then do it again, but late. Floomp, I love you, but like, bravo on farming those impressions on Twitter, my dude. Jokes aside, if you guys go to Floomp's Twitter, it's literally all the conversations a week after and then him redoing them. It's fantastic. I absolutely love it because it works. It basically keeps the conversation going, which I'm not against. It's good to have people constantly talking about these things, especially after goldfish brain on the internet kind of dies down. Let's kick off this chat with about how and when we communicate with the community. How and when you guys get yelled at, usually. For some time now, our cadence has followed our game update schedule. Whether it's the start of a new season or a significant mid-season update, we tend to bundle our conversations with you in with those updates, which is true. Usually they stay pretty quiet, you know. They keep to themselves behind the scenes. They work really, really hard. And then if there's a big update coming, or if they need to address something that people are outcrying about, or if there is something like season 4 coming around the corner or something like that, that's when they tend to speak up. It's pretty common. With season 3, most of our game updates released after the start of the season were hotfix level, focused on addressing new bugs, making map rotation, and preparing the game for new content, this is the one that a lot of us are excited for. This is something that they've been talking about a lot lately. They have been saying quite a bit in recent mentions of whenever they do talk to the public that they are preparing for new stuff. We don't know what they're preparing for, but they are talking a lot about we are currently working on a thing for stuff in the future, and we don't know what that is. If you guys remember, I did a video on the Apple versus Epic Games lawsuit, talking about how there was a project that is being worked on called Rocket League Next. I still don't know if that's going to be a new engine. I don't know if that's going to be just a new version of the game so it works for PS5 and for Xbox, whatever the heck it's called now, X Series 360 no scope. Xbox, figure out your naming convention, man. PlayStation's doing it right with Sony, but I don't know what the hell the new Xbox is called. But I don't know if it's going to be a new generation with like, hey, you can finally on console play at 120 FPS or whatever the hell it is, right? I don't know if that's what Rocket League Next is going to be for next generation of consoles, or if it is going to be like a new version of Rocket League that brings in what we all want, which is Unreal Engine 5. For those that don't know, Unreal Engine 3 is currently what Rocket League is made on. It comes with a lot of limitations. I've talked about this at length in probably a billion different videos. So if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, come over by the stream and I'll talk about it there. This is kind of what we're all hoping for. Prepping the game for new content. There is something that they're working on with the game to provide new content. That is a hopeful outlook. That is me trying to nitpick it, try to figure out something. But they have been working really hard on limited time modes. We just got Loophole that just happened, which is basically a simplistic version of Drop Shot. It was kind of cool. I tried it a little bit. But ultimately, this means the scope and significance of our conversations with you are directly tied to the scope and significance of the updates we release. There tends to be a lot of chatter and excitement around larger updates, but there's a tangible feeling of restlessness in the community when we're far removed from those major updates and additions. It's very true. A lot of other companies pride themselves on weekly, monthly conversations with the community. And it's not anything specific that has to happen. It doesn't have to say anything crazy. It's just more so being like, hey man, we still exist. We still hear you. And we're working on stuff. It doesn't have to be a crazy update every single time, but as long as you guys let us know, hey, we're working towards stuff. We're trying to do some stuff. We're still here. We're still paying attention. It's that line of communication rather than saying, hey, here's a big update. We'll see you in 6 months. Deuces. And then they disappear for a while and come back. And in that 6 months of not hearing anything, everybody's losing their mind. You can show the image of like the "this is fine" guy on fire. This is basically everybody as we wait for 6 months, because Psyonix is burning all around us. Nothing's happening. We're all freaking out. But then we have this dude who's just like, this is just me waiting, hoping, being like, yeah, Rocket League's the best. The esport will be great. We'll make changes. Communication's going to be cool. Things are going to change. And it's been like that for 6 years. Everything's on fire and we're just hoping. So this is kind of how the community acts when Psyonix decides we're going ghost. Instead of just being every couple months or every couple weeks being like, hey guys, we're still here. You know, things are going well. What's up? You know, we're trying stuff. And when people don't know, they assume the worst. Exactly, Fallen. That's kind of how people react. If we don't know, people assume the worst. Rocket League's dying. My numbers are dropping. YouTube and everything is going crazy. No, it's just the free-to-play update is now kind of over that initial bump, and things are starting to get back into its regular saturation. So people freak out. People freak out when there's no line of communication. Imagine being an employer not hearing from your boss for 6 months. Something's probably up. You should freak out a little bit. There's been a lot of healthy conversation around what we're putting into our game updates as well. Since moving to free-to-play last year, we've added millions of new players to the Rocket League community. Players that approach our game from all sorts of perspectives. Casual players who hop into Discord with their friends when life permits. Dedicated competitive players who are pushing to be the next Doubles SSL or Rumble are ingenious, and everyone in between. So they've introduced some really cool, unique partnerships and content into the game, and the return of the community favorites in the spring and during our summer road trip have given the players the opportunity to share in the excitement experienced by our veteran community members going back to the game's launch. That was a really long sentence. What they're talking about is with Rocket League and the RLCSX, they had programs and partnerships where like a certain regional was sponsored by a company and they would bring in free-to-play freestyle updates, and at the tournament there would be like, hey, you have to do flip resets and stuff only with the Ford F-150. You have to do it with the Lamborghini. You have to do stuff like that. And although that is cool partnerships, this word does not fall into that, in my opinion. I think the biggest concern for a lot of people, and I've offered solutions to this, the biggest concern for people is that there is nothing new coming to the game. To me, cosmetics do not equal content. And I'm glad that when they say this, partnerships and content is a separation, right? The ability for them to re-release some of the DLC vehicles like the DeLorean and the Batmobile and Knight Rider and all that kind of stuff. I don't think they've done the Batmobile, but they did the Jurassic Park Jeep and stuff like that. Those are good callbacks. They're a great way to give people that may have missed out on stuff. I have no issues with them bringing those back in, but there needs to be more than that. Summer Road Trip felt very lackluster. The only cool thing that was new about Summer Road Trip was the new limited time mode. The difficulty, though, is these limited time modes only stay around for 4 or 5 days. When there's nothing else going on, you can make those last a couple weeks or maybe put them in a playlist after the fact. So have a LTM playlist that rotates through all the crazy maps that are new, like the really skinny map that's really long and tall. Do the basin one with the sided walls and stuff where it bounces back out. Put those all in a playlist and let me queue those at random. I don't know what I'm going to get, but it's always different. It's something unique. It's something exciting. But having those more than just a couple days and then nothing for a few weeks, and then another couple days and then nothing for a few weeks. It should be the opposite. It should be for a few weeks, nothing for a couple days. A few weeks, nothing for a couple days. And I think that's part of the issue is the new content is not being outweighed by the new, or old in this case, DLC visual cosmetic stuff. And I think that's where people get upset. I think that's the biggest issue people are, where it's like, yo, there's nothing new. There's nothing going on. So I think that's where people are kind of upset. But I do like the fact that with the addition of Epic Games, they have been bringing in bigger and better partnerships, which are what make Rocket League go round. It's what allows them to continue to keep pushing out content and making stuff for this game. Because in the day, chat, it is a business. They're trying to make money, and there's a lot of parts that go into that, and there's a lot of different things. It's crazy seeing some people on social medias where they're like, heck, this team, this MMR nonsense is knowing the rank system, the servers, blah, blah, blah. There's people that they're getting mad at for making maps or releasing that a new DLC is coming, and those guys are being harassed even though the servers are a completely different department. It's just very, very short-sighted by some of the people, and what can you do? But it is cool to see that they are adding more stuff, and the fact that they've added competitive tournaments, which was the free-to-play update, which made meaningful changes to the item trading system. Okay, this is actually a big thing. So they've added competitive tournaments, which is something that came in the free-to-play update. We saw that where they have every like 3 hours those sponsor tournaments, and then you can get those credits and redeem them for certain things. The ability to get unique titles and stuff, especially if you win 3 of the same. They added changes in trade-ins. They got rid of item classifications for series, and it is now all-encompassing, which does make it harder to get specific items, but it also allows you to trade in a lot more things at an easier rate. And then they brought Rocket Labs back, which I think is the biggest thing that they've done. The introduction of Rocket Labs again is really, really important, because if they didn't bring that back, I don't know what this game would be without it, because it would literally just be more cosmetics and more like, hey, here's this card that you either already have or a new one that you don't want to play for more than a couple days. Really big deal that Rocket Labs coming back is a thing. And the competitive tournaments, although it did get implemented, has been buggy at times. There's been a lot of complications with it. Certain times where you queue into a tournament, there's only 2 players instead of 3. There is also only 3v3 tournaments in competitive tournaments. Why isn't there 2v2? Why isn't there 1v1? I do not know. I wish they would implement more types of tournaments. A 1v1, a 2v2, and a 3v3 every 3 hours. 1v1 is this hour, 2v2 is this hour, 3v3 is this hour. And do that. Do that all day. I think people should be able to play tournaments all day if they would like, especially Cynic sponsored ones. I think it'd be amazing. But they do state, over the last 10 months, we've strived to add content and features that appeal to a wide, growing, and diverse community. And I do agree with that. I think it's very difficult for me to express my opinion on this because I am not the majority. I've been around since day one. I've seen a lot of different things come and go in this game. So I am not their major audience draw. And I get that. I'm not the one that they're trying to cater to. I understand that. It sucks because I wish they would. They do state, while we've released new features and quality of life adjustments alongside our growing content library, this subreddit, our Discord, and our social pages are full of suggestions, ideas, and maybe a few rants focused on pushing Rocket League even further. That I am definitely a part of. Right now, our resources are committed to these things: Rocket League Sideswipe, the 2D mobile game that is coming, and related initiatives that we aren't ready to talk about yet. Please, for the love of God, be Unreal 5. Rocket League 2.0. Rocket League the next generation. Rocket League the version that has creative mode built in. I hope that's what this is. But I'm really hoping that related initiatives is what is going to take Rocket League to the next level. Obviously, I know a lot of stuff that you guys don't about the Rocket League esports scene and what is coming in the future, things that people should be very excited for. But I really hope for the casual, for the thing that makes me really, really excited about this game, I really hope they have some sort of creative mode or some way for workshop maps and stuff, allowing me, like, chat, I can guarantee you that if there was an easy way for me to host custom maps, workshop maps on stream, if I could easily just go into my game client, hit create, pick a custom map from workshops, host it, give you guys a username and a code, and you guys could join it. If you don't have it, you download it, you have it on your computer, and you just play. We would do that all day. Legitimately. Streams would literally just be us playing custom game modes all day. If they find a way to do that, this game will take a new level of resurgence. I think between that and Rocket League Sideswipe, those two things would make Rocket League really jump to the next level. Either way, this means our development bandwidth is split in a number of different ways, rightfully so, which is why new content in the item shop tends to outpace new features and changes to existing features and systems, which makes sense. There is a dedicated department used for item shop content in the sense of cosmetics and items and purchasable things to make revenue keep going. That is different from the developers that work on the art and do content and new features and new game modes, and it's different. I personally think you should find a way to allocate more into that by expanding the team. Personally, just me. Obviously, that's a lot of funding. There's a lot of business side behind that, salaries and all that kind of balancing and stuff. But I think there should be more emphasis on that. I think that's more important than anything else. They say there's no easy solve for this, but we want to acknowledge that we've heard you on user-generated content and other social-focused game features. That makes me happy. The fact that they're acknowledging it is really cool. Whether that'll change anything or not, I do not know. But the fact that they are saying, hey, we have heard you guys loud and clear. We understand what your guys' emphasis is on. We understand what you guys want more than anything. While we can't promise anything, we are planning and pushing on some more of the prominent requests, like improved voice chat. More on that later, which I think is a really big deal. You look at any other major online multiplayer game, and voice chat is something that just works. Like, you go and look at almost every other online game, whether it be Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Valorant, you name it, online voice chat just works. You look at Warzone, you look at Battle Royales. Battle Royales literally have hundreds of players in the same server, and it just works. The fact that I can queue Warzone, kill a guy, and I get to hear him rage gives me warm fuzzies inside. And if they can make that work, why can't we have a decent improved voice chat? I don't know if that's a limitation with Unreal Engine 3 or what it is. And I do understand that the concerns with improved voice chat is the toxic kids out there. But at the same time, just like Psyonix can't control what happens on the online environment, you also can't control what people say. That's what report system's for. People suck. It's the way that it goes. That stuff is always going to be a thing. But when I demo someone, I want to hear that little squeaker go wham. You know, that's just content waiting to happen. They'll be talking about what's coming with season 4 in early August. So if you guys haven't got your GC rewards or Supersonic Legend rewards or whatever you're aiming for, and end of the month here is coming up really quick. So early August, a ton of community requested stuff is incoming, including tournament improvements. Awesome. Excited to see what those are. Tweaks to casual and competitive playlists. Not sure what that's going to be. Several brand new limited time modes. That's awesome. More maps, more unique modes, the better. I'm sure Lethmir is going to make a better version of it anyway before it comes out, because that's what he do. Adjustments to game bans and some really cool stuff coming to the esports shop and RLCS. Awesome. Cannot wait to find out. Once season 4 has officially begun, expect to see more conversations driven by us about what dropped in season 4 and what might be in store for season 5. Love that. Hey, this is what's coming up. This is the kind of things that we're doing. We're setting an expectation for having a conversation again in the near future. Also, we're going to talk about season 5 way ahead of time, which I'm a fan of. The more you talk about this stuff before it comes out, the more feedback from the community you can get and make tweaks before it's finalized. Big fan. Let's read some of the comments just in case to see how it's going. The nice thing is there is a comment bot that tells us anytime that they reply. So the first one, in the next update, will teammates hit open nets? No, they will not. I don't think we can ever promise that, even in Heatseeker. Big sad. I guess it's more important for higher ranks than I'm at. But are there plans to bring back solo queue standard? We haven't seen a lot of requests to bring it back, aside from one decent sized thread a few weeks ago, which had some pretty mixed opinions. I swear to God, if you bring back solo queue standard, there's literally no point. The game is emphasized on being a 3v3 team-based game in the pro scene. So you can either queue alone in solo standard or standard, but you should give us a team queue. Please make standard the ability to queue with 1 or 2 or 3, but give us a dedicated team queue, please. Club queue, bring it. I beg you. Give us club queue. Tournaments for every game mode would be awesome. I talked about this in 1v1, 2v2, 3v3, hoops, and everything else for those as a niche would be okay. X modes are definitely in the mix for tournaments. We'll talk more about that ahead of the season. Awesome. That's cool. Hinting that extra mode tournaments are going to be a thing possibly in the future. That'll be really cool. That'll be really cool. Really nice to finally have 2 tournaments. I agree. We'll have more info on coming in tournaments next. Nice. Can we get working in-game team chat? Did you read the post? Got him. People skip all this and then just go submit. You know, it's pretty much how Reddit goes. But no, it's awesome. It seems like they're addressing a lot of important things. We can go back to the big screen, but it does look like they are trying to understand and read the concerns of what's happening in the community, which I think is the important thing. We just want a line of communication. People just want to be heard. People just want to know what the heck is going on. Psyonix has always been super secretive about their intentions and what they're doing. Just include us. People just want to know what you guys are up to, whether we like it or not. Just let us know what you're doing and what you're putting emphasis on, so we aren't left in the dark being like, what? I think that's all we care about. So overall, it's good to see that we have some sort of update. Shoutouts to Devin. It is never fun being the front-facing figure for this, because he's the one that gets a lot of the backlash. I do commend him on putting out a post and then addressing a lot of the concern and things that are going on, and answering it directly as well. Talking specifically like, we know these are the things you guys are mentioning. We hear you. This is what we're trying to work towards, which is awesome. Even though he's not giving us any specific details, they're not saying exactly what this future stuff is going to be. At least they're addressing it and saying like, hey, we hear you. So again, awesome stuff here. More of this, please. RL community updates on a regular. I would absolutely love this. I hope this becomes more of a standard, which it sounds like they're trying to do. So massive thumbs up, obviously, to the team over at Sonic. Shoutouts to Sonic's Devin, the community manager, for being directly from the source itself. But chat, if you guys do have any questions, comments, concerns, other things you'd like me to address, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, as chat always yells at you guys, make sure you hit subscribe. You get free cookies, turn on notifications. And if you guys don't already, they're literally going to display on the side here. Hit up the social medias, which you can find in the description, whether it be my other social medias or my Discord. There's a lot of times where YouTube does not give you guys notifications, but I can guarantee you that every time on Discord, you get a tag for it. And on my Twitter, I always tweet when a new video comes out. So make sure you guys go show the other socials some love so you guys can stay up to date on all things Rocket League related. But that's going to do it for me. It's going to do it for chat, Twitch. Appreciate you guys all being here, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.